Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode. This week's topic would have to be one of my favorite. I was going to say my most prized, but no, it's my favorite topic to talk about. And in a few minutes, you guys are going to understand why. So when I first start working with my clients, one of the very first things that I do is we obviously have a chat and we talk about and understand their specific goal, okay? And then what I do is I take those details, enter them into a specific formula that I have created and calculate exactly how long it's going to take to achieve that goal. Now, the reason that I do this is because a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll pick a goal like lose 10 kilograms, then they'll pick a time frame like 10 weeks. But there is a very specific calculation to work out exactly how much of a deficit that you'll need to be in to lose 10 kilos, 20 kilos, whatever it is, even if it's 2 kilos, and how much you will lose per week. Then obviously how many weeks it will take, and then we need to consider adaptation, which is your body getting used to the calorie deficit that you're in. Now, for a lot of ladies that I begin working with, the position that they actually come to me in, the position that they're starting in, it's actually impossible for them to lose the amount of weight that they want to lose because they're eating far too few or far too little calories to start with per day. Okay, so once I enter their info into my little calculation that I've got, we work out that they're going to be eating like 400 or maybe 500 calories a day to lose the amount of weight that they want to lose, which is honestly not possible. So 99 times out of 100, we actually have to reverse diet them to give them the room that they need for a fat loss phase, okay? I have done heaps and heaps of videos on my YouTube channel about reverse dieting. So this video, I'm just going to go through the calculations specifically to see whether it's actually possible to lose the amount of weight that you want to lose, okay? And if it is, exactly how long it's going to take. Let me show you one of my clients. Her name is Erin. She currently weighs 93.9 kilos. Now, her goal is to lose 10 kilograms of fat. Now, in case you weren't entirely aware, when you are somebody that has been training for longer than 6 months, and by training, I mean, weights training, even your cardio with weights or your HIIT training. So somebody that is conditioned and has been consistently training for the last 6 months. When you lose weight, there is an expected portion of that will come from muscle. Okay, so to work that out or to give you an idea, if you are somebody who is weight training purely and you're eating a high protein diet, 70% of that weight loss will come from fat and 20% will come from muscle. Now, that can increase to about 80% fat and 10% muscle, but we're going to use a worst case scenario today. And then if you are somebody that's doing cardio, HIIT classes, boot camp, group sessions, that kind of training, you can actually expect up to 30% of that to come from muscle. So we have to obviously incorporate the muscle loss because Erin has told me that she wants to lose 10 kilograms of fat. Well, if she loses 10 kilograms, not all of that is going to be fat. So I've had to actually work out the equation to work out how much extra she's going to actually have to lose to make sure that she's, losing the 10 kilograms of fat. Now, like I said before, 80% of that is going to come from fat. So the way we work it out is 10 kilos divided by 0.8 for 80%. Gives us a total of 12.5 kilos fat loss. So that's how we work that out. Now, the next thing we need to do is choose the rate of fat loss. Now, guys, what I'm about to go through here may not make a whole heap of sense to a lot of you, and it's not supposed to. You guys aren't trained in this area, but this is going to be a huge eye-opener for you to see the results of what she's actually going to need to do to be able to get to her goal and how we can actually manipulate and change it to suit what she's comfortable with actually doing. So we're going to choose the rate of fat loss. And my recommendation here is 0.4 to 1% per week. The reason for that is if you choose a higher rate of fat loss per week, and when I say 0.4 to 1%, that's of your total body weight. If you choose a higher rate of fat loss per week, it is expected that you will lose additional unnecessary muscle. Also, the chances of you actually adhering to that and sticking to that become reduced, and also the chances of weight regain afterwards with a huge and like hard and fast weight loss is also increased. So 0.4 to 1% of your total body weight per week is recommended. So I've done a couple of different scenarios here for Erin so that we can, work out what she is comfortable with doing given her current circumstances, the current calories that she's eating, which we'll go into this in a minute, which will really help you understand what you would be comfortable with actually doing. So I've laid out a few different scenarios, 0.7%, 0.8%, and 1%, which gives us these totals. Now, I have just realized that this is actually incorrect, but we're not going to be using this figure today. We're actually going to be using the 1% of her body weight here, which will be 939 grams per week. So all we do is we take the 12.5 kilos, we divide 939, which is 1% of her total body weight, which is the highest amount recommended, and we divide that into the 12.5 kilos, which will give us 13.5 weeks. I think it actually spits out 13.3, but 13.5 to make it nice and round, okay? So this is the bit that might actually end up a little bit confusing, but just hang with me for 5, because down here we're going to work out exactly how many calorie deficit she needs to be in to be able to achieve a 939 gram weight loss per week and have her achieve that in 13.5 weeks. So just before I said that 80% of her weight loss is going to come from fat, 30% is going to come from lean body mass, and this is where we're going to work out how many calories that's going to take, because we know that for every gram of body weight that you lose, there is a calorie or a caloric value, I should say, attached to that. And fat actually contains a higher caloric value than protein or your lean body mass. So once we split that off into 80% being fat, which is 10 kilos or 10,000 grams, and then 20% being 2,500 grams or 2.5 kilos, we're going to split it out and work out the caloric value. So 87% of the total fat loss lost will actually have a caloric value attached to it. So 87% of 10 kilos is 8.7 kilos or 8,700 grams. We're going to times that by 9, which is the amount of calories per gram. It comes out to a total of 78,300 calories. Now, don't freak out just yet, because remember, we have to divide this into how many weeks she wants to diet for. Now we'll come over to the other side. Lean body mass will be 2,500. Now, only 30% of that total weight loss has a caloric value attached to it. 70% has no caloric value attached to it. So once we work out the equation, 750 grams is actually the only amount that's going to have a caloric value. We're going to times that by 4, because that's how many calories are attached to that. It's going to give us 3,000. Oh, moving stuff around. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so now what we're going to do is plus the two together. 78,300 plus 3,000. It's going to give us a total of 81,300. Now, up here, if we just pop up here for a sec, we have decided that she is going to lose 939 grams per week, which is going to take her 13.5 weeks. Now, what we need to do is we're just going to quickly change this. We're going to plus the two together, and we're going to divide 81,000 into 13.5 weeks, which is going to give us a total of 6,022 calorie deficit per week, okay? Then obviously we have to break that into days, because there is 7 days a week. It's going to give us 860 calories per day deficit, okay? So that's not how many calories she needs to eat. That's the deficit that she needs to be in. We're really lucky that Erin has been working with me for some time, and we've gotten her calorie increase, or her current maintenance calories, we have gotten them up to 2,500. When I first started working with Erin, she was eating 1,500 calories. Now she's now eating 2,500, and that is what her body maintains on. Okay, so 2,500 minus 860 calories, which is the deficit that she needs to be in, is going to give her a total of 1,639 calories. Now, what most people don't realize is that after 3 weeks, Erin's metabolism is going to slow down. So after about 3 to 4 weeks, she's not going to be losing close to 1 kilo on these calories anymore. She's going to be losing less. So what you need to do is you need to decrease the calories around 5% every, say, 3 to 4 weeks, roughly speaking. So we have worked out that by the end of the 13 and a half weeks, that she'll actually be close to 1,200 calories to enable her to lose her total 12 and a half kilos. Now, if you are somebody that's eating 1,200 calories right now and you want to lose 939 grams per week, keep in mind that if you're eating 1,200 calories and your body maintains its weight on that right now, and you minus 860 calories off that, you're going to be left with very little food, under 500 calories, which is absolutely ridiculous, like I mentioned before. Well, guys, it's pretty freaking mind-blowing, right, when it's actually broken down like this. You guys can clearly see now why some people are really setting themselves up for failure, and also why that dreaded plateau happens, okay? I was actually watching someone's Insta stories today who had just finished their second 8-week challenge, okay? She trained her butt off for the first challenge. She lost about 10 kilograms. She was eating roughly 1,300 to 1,500 calories throughout the challenge every single day. Then for the second challenge, she trained her absolute butt off again. And the food was okay, but it was not quite as tight as the first round, okay? And she lost a few kilograms in total the second round. But then what I saw is that she was actually blaming her food for not being as tight. Well, that's obviously, that has a part of the reason why she may not have lost as much weight. But if you think about it for a minute, if you kept losing, say, 1 kilo a week, every single week, and you weigh 60 kilos, in 60 weeks, you would literally fade away to a shadow. Like literally you would weigh nothing. Okay, so it really makes sense that your body adapts to the calories that you're feeding it and the energy output that you're doing every day, because if it didn't, you would quite literally die, okay? Erin here that I've used in my example today, she's currently maintaining her current body weight on 2,500 calories, okay? She was previously on 1,500 calories, and I reverse dieted her to get to where she is right now. Where actually, when we enter her fat loss phase, we're going to take 725 calories off her per day. But that's still going to leave her with 1,775 calories, okay? So if we compare that to her 6 months ago when she started and she wanted to lose 10 kilos of weight, and she was on 1,500 calories at that time, that would actually leave her with 775 calories to eat per day to achieve her weight loss goal, which is not only ridiculous, but the chances of her actually sticking to that would honestly almost be impossible, and not to mention the health concerns that come along with it too. So guys, this video today is just something to help you really think about, and obviously something to consider when you are planning out how much weight you need to lose and the path that you're going to take when you do it. All right, guys, that is it for another week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is something that I actually taught in a huge amount of depth on my free 5-day challenge that I ran a few weeks back. Make sure you're following me over on Instagram so that you know the details of when I'll actually be running my next 5-day challenge. It's going to be early 2020 at this stage, so nothing for the rest of the year. But guys, I hope that this gave you, I guess, a much clearer understanding, and I will see you guys in my next episode. Bye.